Well, hello there from a very rainy Maryville, Tennessee, and I'm thankful for the rain, actually. This is something that we need. I know that some of you who are watching the show are in the midst of a heat wave. In some parts of the world, you've been in a major drought with many of my friends and family in Taiwan. I know they've been on a historic drought there. And thankfully, the Lord has provided rain for them in these last couple of weeks. So it is God that provides. He provides everything that we need for life. We just try to serve Him. And I'm thankful to spend this day in service with you. As you listen, as you watch, hopefully as you put into practice some of what you're seeing in these live trainings, I hope that God blesses you, and that it is a benefit not only to you, to your ministry, but most importantly to the kingdom, that people will hear about Jesus and have an opportunity to be able to talk with someone online and, Lord willing, even face-to-face, where they can see and hear and know the good news and be discipled by others. And I am excited at what I'm seeing in just the overall landscape out there as more people, more organizations, more donors, supporters, goers, workers, all are uniting together to figure out what is the most effective way to get the gospel to every person that's out there. We know it's going to happen. All right, if you read ahead in the end of the book, we know that every tribe, tongue, and nation, every language that's out there, every knee will bow. So how can we leverage what we have available right now to push forward towards that goal? Well, that's why I like using media and technology and marketing skills and anything else we can to be able to make Jesus famous. That's the purpose of this show, the Christian Media Marketing Show. My name is John. I am the owner of Kavanaugh Media. I get to work with a great group of people as we try to leverage media and technology to make Jesus famous and to make Him known to those people all around the world. We do this show in partnership with Good News Productions International out of Joplin, Missouri. I am very thankful for all of them there and for allowing me to be able to put this show on for you. Our hearts go out to many of you who are just these small teams or a small church. Maybe you don't have tremendous amount of resources. Maybe you don't have the time to want to dive into every little article or video that's out there about how to do Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or whatever it might be. Well, that's why we do this, is to serve you and to hopefully be a resource for you. If you have never watched this show before, we try to answer a few questions at the beginning and then do some live training during the show. If you have questions while that's going on or any comments or whatever, make sure and put those in the comment section of wherever you're watching. As always, I hope the software works. So it allows me to see those comments. For many of you, you watch this show then later. You watch it recorded, and it is available in all the episodes. The previous 21 episodes are available of this training on our Kavanaugh Media website. Just go log in there. We really want to know who you are, so don't use some fake name. I'm not giving that out to anyone else. But then you'll have access to all of the trainings that we have made available. All of that material and that training is free of charge and available there on our website. All right, let's dive into today's training. And I want to just share with you a couple of questions that I have been asked, and hopefully maybe they're ones that you've had, or maybe it'll be some information that'll be a benefit for you. As always, if you do have questions and you want to ask them during the show, feel free to put those in the comment box as well. Okay? So the very first question that I was asked here is this: why can't I see, or why can I see people's names of who made a post on Facebook? I thought our identities were not shared. Okay, and so here's what they're talking about. Here's a screen grab. I'll put this picture up here. This is from the post that I just put on our Kavanaugh Media page this morning, talking about this show that's about to happen. All right, and if you notice here, it says published by John Rawls. Okay, well, Why is that? I thought that those kind of things weren't published, that that's not shown, that the identity of people, if we're using a business account, is hidden. Well, you're right. Okay, they are. This is my account. I am on that business account, so I can see who else is publishing to it. Okay, that's why you see the name. So there's others that are on our Kavanaugh Media business account here. So Alan would be one. So if Alan posts something to the Kavanaugh Media site, then to our page, it would show up here and say published by. Or let's say you use some software like Agorapulse or Hootsuite or something like that to schedule out your post. It will show that's who published it there. Okay, so that there's nothing to be alarmed when you see that. That's just showing who within your business account who have access and permission to do so, who it was who actually posted to your page. All right, so yes, your identities currently are protected. You're okay there on that. That's just one of the reasons why it's important to use the business account and to get those set up. Here's the other question I want to address then this morning, and that is just this one about video length. What is the best length of video to use for Facebook ads? What about YouTube ads? All right, well, those are two totally different things. Facebook and YouTube, both of them have video. Both of them, it's an important part of what they do. Facebook, when they went out with video, that you see in the algorithm itself that it really rewards videos. But the difference there is the user. People don't tend to go to Facebook to watch long videos. They do go to YouTube to watch long videos. So what is the best length? Well, it depends a little bit about what type of video you're talking about. And is it an ad, or is it more of a longer type of video? If it's an ad, then I would encourage you that your videos should be at least 15 seconds. And really, I prefer it anymore for it to be more like 45 seconds to a minute. And the reason why is then I can go in and create a custom audience of people who have watched, say, 50% of a minute-long video. That tells me something about that person. It doesn't tell me their name. I don't know who they are, but it tells me that they were interested enough that they watched for 30 seconds, that they were actually watching the video. They just didn't pause there with their thumb. And so when the video is really short, then the time frame to do those percentages really are not as valuable, and it doesn't give us as much information. So if we're talking about an ad for Facebook, over 15 seconds, which is a through play, up to maybe a minute, depending upon the video itself. But give it a little bit of time. A great thing to do is to take an excerpt from the longer form of the video that you might want to use, say on your website, on your landing page, and create, in essence, a trailer for it. Or you can always just take still images and make those into a video. We showed you how to do that here on this live training just a few weeks ago. So for Facebook, that's what I would say, 15 seconds to right around a minute or so. I used to always say keep it right less than a minute because of Instagram. You can go longer now, but still, I just don't think people want to watch long videos on Facebook itself. I know they want people to, I just don't think that's where they go. When we're talking about YouTube, though, that's completely different. People go on YouTube and they watch and they search. It's the second largest search engine in the world. And so people go on there with a very specific purpose. They're already typing in how to, or they know the subject. We're not trying to introduce something to them, say Jesus or the Bible, like we would do with Facebook. We're not trying to push content in front of them. We're trying to pull them from YouTube or from Google search results to our website. Well, when it comes to YouTube, the video length of the video itself is not as important, though I would tell you it's important to put your end cards and those kind of things on the videos there, okay? But if you're talking about YouTube ads, then there's a couple of different formats that determine length. There is bumper ads, which can go up to about 6 seconds, and those just they are exactly what they say. They show up there. You can't skip them. They're right there at the beginning, and then you can watch the video that you want to watch. There's also non-skippable and skippable ads, and those can vary in length. Okay, those could be longer, similar to your Facebook ads, but you really want to make sure that there's movement, that there's a reason for people to watch, that it's captivating people. Okay, so we're actually going to be doing some deep dives into YouTube ads and Google ads starting this fall. And so we're going to do a lot more training on that starting up in the fall. And so we'll dive into this even more, the video lengths and some of those. So great question. A lot of this, I would always say to anyone that's talking to me, is test and see for yourself. See which one gets more clicks. See if there's any kind of indication. And like with the Facebook one, there is one group that we were working with, and I was watching their videos, and then at a certain point, there's 3,000 people to watch this video, and then all of a sudden, at the 75% mark, it was 100 people started watching it. And we're like, whoa, what's going on there? What's happening in that video? Go back and look at it. Is that where Jesus is introduced? Is that what's happening? For this one, it was that's when the call to action showed up. And it was a WhatsApp number that was on the screen. And so people saw it and were like, okay. And they had seen all they needed to see. That was why it dropped there. But those percentages and that length of time is really valuable. All right. I hope that is some information for you. And for those of you that asked, hopefully that answers your questions that you had there. Thank you for asking them. We'll do our best with that. I tell you, I am convicted that the world needs knowledge and that each of us has a part that we can play. And so this is that part for us, and we're happy to do that. We're trying to share that with as many people as we can, as we physically can. Let's dive into the last bit of Facebook live training that we're going to do for a while. Okay, we're actually going to take a summer break from the video live training. The podcast itself is going to keep going, but I want to be able to do some more research and really start to put together some more training videos for this show. And to be honest with you, I just need a little bit of a break. We've been pushing hard, really hard, since the pandemic began around the world. For many people, they were laid off. For them, they were like, what are we going to do? For me, it's just been full tilt. As many hours as I can work, it's there to do. And physically, mentally, even spiritually, I need to take some time to let off the accelerator just a little bit, because we're going to hit it even harder starting this fall. And so the live video training itself will start back up here in the fall. We're going to keep right on going. We're going to go into some new subjects, Google, YouTube ads. So I wanted to finish up the YouTube one today with one other area that I haven't really touched on before in any of my trainings, and that is the Creative Hub. The Creative Hub is a place where you can do mock-ups of your ads, where you can see what the ad's going to look like and play around with that, get a good idea of it. If you're working with other people, it's an opportunity for them to see or to work on it as well. This is also really a cool thing, because when you go in to create the ad in Ads Manager, when it's in draft mode, nobody else can see it. So anybody else in your team can't see what you've done until you publish it. But if you use the Creative Hub, you can invite other people. In fact, you can invite people who aren't even a part of your ministry team or your business account to be able to access that. And I want to show you all of that. Once the ads are ready, then you can make an ad out of that mock-up that you've used. So let's dive right into the live training here, and let me show you what we're talking about. All right, so this is the Creative Hub area. And what you're going to notice with this, the way you find that, is you go into just go to business.facebook.com. You're going to look right over here where it says All Tools. All right, and when you click on All Tools, there's so much here. I really want to encourage you to press buttons. Okay, try things out. But you see what is highlighted here is this Creative Hub. And so when you click on Creative Hub, it takes you to this page right here. Now, your ad account's going to show up right over here. It's up in the top right, and my picture is blocking that. But that's where that part's going to show up. And then there's going to be this blue button. In fact, let me just move my picture here. I'll move it down here. There we go. This button right up here is the Create Mockup button. All right, and so we'll do that in a minute, but I want to show you a few other things here, right here on this page as you get started. The first one's right here where it says Add Collaborator. This is where you can add people to it. So if I click on this, it's going to open up this screen. Now in this test account right now, it has Alan and I who are on it. We're the ones that have access to this test account that he and I are working through for a lot of these training videos and just work that we're doing for Kavanaugh Media for the coaching part of what we do. So it says right here, they have access. All right, and I'm going to show you in a second what this manage permission does right here. But you can also click in here to see if there's somebody else in that, or you can click right here on this button to add an external user. So if I click on that, then I could give them and just use their email address, and I can give that to them and then click on this send invite button right there. So if you have someone that you're creating ads for who is not a part of your business account and you want to show them what their ad is going to look like, or make sure that maybe it's in another language, that it's typed in right or copied right, or it's the right language for the video, well, that's one way that you can do it, is by showing them or giving them access to these mock-ups here. All right. If I click on there on this Add Collaborator and to the Manage Permission button, it's going to bring you into your business settings account. And so when you get into your business settings, which you really need to know where this area is, there's a lot of stuff going on here. This is where you can see where people are. And this button right down here, Manage Creative Hub Mockups. You click on that, and whoever the person is that you've added to it, so in this instance it's Alan, or if it was me here, see, I could click. If I only wanted Alan to have access, say, to the manage campaigns, but not that, I would turn off this manage ad account, the full control, and then I would choose which one of these things I want. So you can give somebody access to the mock-ups, but not performance or campaigns. So it's a way, even within your team, to really give people certain amounts of access to be able to see what it looks like. So when we go back in this Creative Hub, we're going to click on this blue Create Mockup button, either up here or right over here. When you click on that, it opens up this page. Now this is the mockup page, and we're just going to kind of work through this screen together. Okay? When you're in here, it's going to give you, here's the different ones you've created. There's a little start guide that's walking you through this as well that you can see. This is also then where you can show it in the Ads Manager. So if you want it to become available after you're done, you can do this so that other people can create ads from it. You can also click on this share button, and this will allow you to do link sharing to this ad or to this mock-up for a specific amount of time. Okay, so you can click on that. This should look very similar to just what you do when you're creating the ad in general. What's nice about this is it's showing you all of these placements here, okay, which depends upon what your ad objective would be. So for this one, I've just selected our training account. We do not have an Instagram account attached to this one. And now we come right down here, and this is what you do anytime. What type of format do you want to use? Do you want it to be an image or a video or a carousel or whatever you might want to do? Well, if you want to do that, let's just say we want to do a single image or video. Let's start with a video. So I would click on Add Video. And then I'm going to come in here and see how the yellow boxes will say, hey, this is not in the right format, or this is too long, or this is too short, or whatever it might be. Well, here's one that we've already cropped to square. But I'm going to take this one and I'm going to click next. And then when I do that, now it gives me the option to crop this video. So if I want to make this a certain size, all right, I can do that, and then that video is going to get cropped as you go through it. That's a great thing to be able to do that. So here's the video, and it's cropped right down to that one-to-one relationship, okay? So that one-to-one right there as far as size relationship. And when you're done, you would just hit the blue done button. Now, if I don't want to use that one, this is going to go ahead and put that in there, but let's say I want to get rid of it. So I'm going to hit clear all, and I'm going to go back to add media, and I'm going to use the square one right here. Now I'm going to add it to it. There it is. And now it's going to start showing up and giving you the examples of what it looks like. Okay, now there's things you can do though with this video once you have uploaded it. This is when we get here and we can click on edit video, and this is where we can change the thumbnail. This is where we can add captions. When it's a picture, we can add a link. There's a lot of things that we could do to that, and I've already covered that in the previous live training, so I'm not going to dive into that too much here, but I just want you to know that those options are still there for you even when you're using these mock-ups. So this has got the video there now, all right? And then we can come under any of these, and this is what I like. Let's say I want to change how it looks for the Facebook Marketplace. Then I could click on edit, and then I could change all of that. This is where I can add links and headlines, primary text, captions, all of that stuff, and it would only change the one for the Facebook Marketplace, okay? And so I can see all of the placements, and I can change what I'm seeing with these areas. Now, I'm going to come down here and under primary text, and I'm just going to type something like, Jesus wants us all to be faithful and fruitful. Okay, so something like that. All right, it's not a great ad. I know that. Okay, I'm just putting something in there. And then the headline is Jesus wants faithfulness. I don't know. Not very evangelistic, is it? Not a good headline, not a good primary text. I get it, but I'm just putting something in there, okay? How about this one? That's bugging me. I'm going to put Jesus offers hope, because that's true. All right, so you see how this is changing in all of these mock-ups while we're going along. Okay, so then I would come down here and I would put in a website. So we're going to put here, I'll just put my own on that one. So there's the website that would be displayed on these different ones. It depends on which type of placement as to what is put on them. Okay, what kind of information is put there. All right, so you're able to look through all of these and see what it's going to look like. Instagram, Facebook, all of that. I can change the call to action button. Remember to scroll down if you want something like watch more. All right, well, there you go. That's there. So now this ad, this is what I would have done in Ad Manager. But if, let's say, Alan wanted to do this with me, he could be working on this. He could see it. He could do some different variations. So we could both work on it, or I could create it. He could approve it. And then we could go ahead and create the ad from it. Okay, and so let's say on this one right here, this is the Facebook feed. I want to change this one. Well, here I can hit the edit button. And I'm going to come down here, and under the headline, I'm going to change this one to Jesus Offers Love. And there it is. So just on the Facebook feed ones, now it says Jesus Offers Love. But in the marketplace, it says Jesus Offers Hope. Here's why that could be important. Depending upon the placement, the amount of words may get cut off. And so this is a way for you to modify so that the text fits in the right way of where you're using it. You don't want it breaking and having ... or losing the most important words of your message. So this is a way to be able to edit that in there. All right, if I wanted this then to show up, I would click right here to show up in Ads Manager. It's being auto-saved, and then I could create an ad. And so I would hit create ad, and then I go back through, I pick my objective, I pick my audience, I pick my budget, my date and time, and this ad would show up. Okay, so this is, to me, this is just a really cool way to be able to look through and to design these things in such a way that you can make sure things are just right. Okay, that everything you're trying to do is set up right before you get into it, because this is the problem. When you get in there, if things aren't right, it becomes a real bad thing when the ad is wrong, the text is wrong, there's all sorts of things that happen. Okay, let me show you, I'll show you back here. I clicked on the create ad button. Here's what's happening. Okay, so here's that ad as I go through it. Okay, I clicked on that, it's already right there. And it's using Creative Hub Mockup. Remember that place where it says create ad, use existing posts? Well, here's the third option, use Creative Hub Mockup. And that's what it's doing right here. Okay, so I hope that this is a benefit for you. I hope that you'll try that. It is just another way for you to streamline the activity that you're doing to make sure things are right, because it's a real pain. If you get these wrong, you've got to go back in, you've got to make the adjustments, which means the ad gets stopped, it goes back through the review process. It's just a pain. All right, so it's just better to get it right the first time and to make sure that everything is set up correctly. Okay, so that's going to end for a while, at least, because Facebook's always changing. But we'll get started again here in the fall, and we're going to start more on the YouTube, Google side for a while, and we'll bring in new things from Facebook as that gets going as well. But don't forget the podcast itself, the Christian Media Marketing Podcast. It's every Friday. It comes out at about 1:15 in the morning Eastern Time. So those of you in Europe, you can listen to it, have your cup of morning coffee, and be able to hear just a short 10 to 15 minute little sound bites of interviews or training or thoughts. The last week's podcast was talking about the last 2 weeks about the quarterly data that I had from 210 different accounts, about 81 different countries. What trends, what things am I seeing? So there's a lot of real applicable, timely things that we're trying to put into that podcast. So I hope that you will listen to that. I hope you'll subscribe to this video training. You'll go to our website to watch the other training if you've not seen them. I really hope that you'll share it with other people and let them know. We're going to get started again in the fall here, and we hope to be able to continue to give you the very best possible training that we can for you, for your ministry, for your mission team, for your church, wherever you are, to be able to leverage this media and technology. Thank you for watching today. Thank you for all that you're doing to make Jesus famous. Okay, thank you, Jeff, for your comment there. I appreciate that, buddy. Until next time, okay, until we're back on live again, if we can help you in some way, reach out, send us a message through the website. We'll do our best, okay, to try to help you. Please understand, we're going to take a little bit of time, not completely off from work. In fact, we're working pretty hard, but away from just this stuff, from the public-facing things for just a bit, about a month or so, and then we'll get started again. But as always, keep pushing, keep pressing, keep trying to make Jesus famous, and if we can help in some way, please let us know. Thanks for all